Hey, this is Kevin with the Lordship Ministries. This is part 3 of a preview of a book we're putting together called Discipleship. I don't think it means what you think it means. And one of the aspects that we have been talking about is following. Jesus invited the disciples, those first 4, to come and follow him. He didn't tell them or invite them to come to the service at the synagogue on Sunday morning. And I've said this before. Because listening to teaching or a preaching or a lecture only results in about 5% comprehension. Think about that. I've preached for years. I prepared sermons, worked hard at putting those together and finding out that really about 5 to 8% of what I said actually got in to the people that were listening. That's why Jesus didn't invite them to listen to his sermon or a lecture. That's why Jesus said, come and follow me. Benjamin Franklin said this, whatever you think of him, I like this phrase. Tell me and I will forget. Teach me and will remember. Involve me and I will learn. There's a difference between remembering something and actually learning something. Learning begins that transformation process in us to become Christ-like. I love Grant Skelton. If you ever read a book on discipleship, read Grant Skelton, The Passion Generation. Fantastic book. He says, disciples will never be made by asking people to listen to us. Disciples are made by following those who follow Christ. That's how it works. It's a one-on-one thing. It's not discipling the masses. It is a one-on-one thing where you and I disciple people. People are following us anyways. People are watching your example. People are family members, individuals in your neighbors. They're watching. Don't fool yourself to think that nobody knows what you're doing. People are watching you. And that's what we need to understand. Schools, universities, and colleges have taken full advantage of this. You know what we're doing when we send our kids to a liberal school or to get a great degree at some university? We're sending them to be discipled by liberal people who don't follow Christ. Why? Because day in and day out, they live on campus, they go to the classes every day, they tend to look up to their professors as leaders, and they tend then to follow. Man, I think we are reaping the results of sending kids for decades now to liberal universities because we wanted a good kid to get a good degree. You know, that degree is going to make their life and everything else. Yeah, it's going to destroy them too in many ways. And we as parents think that we're doing the right thing. Listen carefully. We are followers. You send your kids, you send them to some place and you are telling them to follow. And oh, can they they know right from wrong? Wrong, they don't. They can be sucked in to some ideology, some sort of philosophy quicker than you and I can ever imagine. There's a famous country song. Those of you that know me know that I'm kind of a country aficionado. Not really, but there's Rodney Atkins wrote this song that I have never forgotten. It says this. It says, driving through town, just my boy and me, with a Happy Meal in his booster seat, knowing he couldn't have the toy till the nuggets were gone. The green traffic light turned straight to red, and I hit my brakes and mumbled under my breath. His fries went flying, and his orange drink covered his lap. Well, then my 4-year-old said a 4-letter word that started with S and ended with I. And I was concerned. So I said, son, now, where did you learn to talk like that? He said, I've been watching you, Dad. Ain't that cool? I'm your buckaroo. I want to be like you and eat all my food and grow up as tall as you are. We got cowboy boots and camel pants. Yeah, we're just alike. Hey, ain't we, Dad? I want to do everything you do, so I've been watching you. We got back home and I went to the barn and I bowed my head and I prayed real hard. Said, Lord, please help me, my stupid self. Then this side of the bedtime later that night, turning on my son's Scooby-Doo nightlight, he crawled out of bed and he got down on his knees and he closed his eyes and he folded his hands and he spoke to God like he was talking to a friend. And I said, son, now where did you learn to pray like that? He said, I've been watching you, Dad. Ain't that cool? I'm your little buckaroo. There's more truth to that song, friend. And so as we begin to follow Christ as true disciples, I'm not talking about church attenders. I'm not talking about people who just from time to time, when times are bad, when things are not going well, they reach out to God. I'm talking about people who are day in and day out committed to deny themselves, pick up their cross, and follow Him. That's true discipleship. And that's what God's calling us to do. I want to challenge you. Who's following you? They are. And what are they seeing when they look at you? Are they seeing Jesus? That's what discipleship is all about. God bless.